February the 18th, 2017. Guys, you're looking at reservoir levels in California. We'll look at a couple of days worth here. This goes back to the 15th. Today's the 18th again, 3 days ago. Lake Oroville that we've been watching, at that point was at 88% capacity. And in the red, that arrow there indicates the historical average. And that's saying it's 130% above historical average. That's what your blue and red numbers indicate. Lake Shasta in the top center, guys, that's at 92% capacity, and it's 130% above historical average. Also, they're letting a lot of water out of it. They're getting a lot of inflow, but the storms that are wreaking havoc across Southern California are just now starting to move north, and they're going to continue there, and it could be more rain in Northern California than in Southern California. You guys in LA know, looking at the news, floods, power outages, trees down, people are dying. But let's go to the next day. You can see that both Lake Shasta has come down from 92%, Lake Oroville down from 88%, down from both 130, now they're at 129, 125% of historical average. That's telling you that they've been letting a lot of water out because of the previous storms and the upcoming storms. Now notice Don Pedro Reservoir in the top of this section of the image, 98% capacity, 140% above historical average. Check this out, 93 at Castaic Lake percent, San Luis Reservoir, 93%. And guys, this will change daily, and we're going to look at the current stats as of the latest information available. Let's go to Oroville first, and I'm going to link to this. But just go to the 17th at the top. You've got elevation 857.49. Now, today, at the bottom of this chart, same column, 855. That's telling you that it's dropped a little over 2 feet in 2 days. They were trying to get this down 50 feet. I think they managed about 30-something of that feet. Also notice in the inflow, cubic feet per second, guys, this column right there, you've got an inflow on the 17th of 45,446. Now, the inflow has gone down as of today to 37. That's because the storms had abated. They dealt with that, but now it's starting to build back up. Shasta down, same thing. Now, the latest update we have, if you notice at the bottom, was at 7 a.m. this morning. Reservoir is almost the same at 1,051. It's gone down slightly. Now, the outflow is slightly up. Notice that 48.5 to 48.8. Inflow is up at Shasta. What is that telling you? That they're trying to let as much water out as they can, but they're still continuously getting more inflow. Again, these new storms that are pounding them today, guys, and cars are being swept away, mud flows are occurring, trees are falling on houses, thousands and thousands without power, deep water rescues. Just go look at the LA news. But guys, just back on the 14th to tell you how fast this is moving. Storage was at 95%. Now we're seeing 91. So they're letting the water out, but that was at 79,000 cubic feet per second. So we've gone from 95 on the 14th, so that's giving you an average. But what is happening with all of this outflow these reservoirs are letting out? Look at the Sacramento River Basin here, guys. Flooded all up and down these areas. Not going to be able to take much more, but it's too late. The storms are hitting. And go back 2 days to looking at the higher elevations, Soda Springs, Castle Peak, and the infamous Donner Summit there. All are getting covered in snow. So higher elevations in the Sierras, snow. Lower elevations, flooding, rain. LA could get a foot. But Shasta Dam is huge. It's not as high as Oroville Dam, 602 feet instead of 9 feet. But notice the ages on the dams. We'll look at a couple of them in that area, 1945, 1956 for Folsom Dam. So you've got weakened infrastructure. We haven't seen any of them quite do what we've seen at Oroville Lake yet, but here at the Monticello Dam, and this is the one that has the what they call the glory hole on the inside where it drains from a center. But anyway, 304 feet, 1957. Quite a bit of age on these dams, and if you look closely at the edges of this, you can see some wear and tear. So what the reason for the video is I had questions about what did the other reservoirs in California look like. Again, I'll link to that so you can keep up with it. It's critical in your area. One of the other things that I read was that a few years ago they did an evaluation of a complete dam failure at Oroville, guys. Now, we're not talking about a complete dam failure now, but because that side reservoir that we saw overlapping, that would give first, more than likely. But they said people would not have time to evacuate below there, that emergency personnel would have to move to higher ground, this is in the report, and wait for the aftermath to retrieve bodies and start rescue missions if possible. And they said there is not enough time, if it starts to go, to evacuate. Another untold story is that when they had these evacuations a few nights ago, guys, there were people trapped on the interstate. There were fights. There were wrecks. It was chaos. They didn't talk about that much. And it goes back to that report, I think it was 2012, that said there's not enough escape time or routes. And one of the highways was already flooded. That one of the major ways out of there. This is the information, guys, that people were talking about. It's interesting to me, too, because we've seen California go from drought to this. But we're watching it, and be very well aware where you are compared to these dams and where the downflow would be. We're already seeing everything flooded, all the rivers up and everything, so there's not much room left. It's a heads up. Be safe.